So it is live now. Hi, everybody.
Delayed.
Well, you know, I'm so good at this. I also have to pause before you start hearing it going live over here. So this is Virtual Stitchers. I'm Sammy from Sammy J Stitches, and we have Lisa from Shady Tree Stitchers. And we had a thought this week. Every week we get on here and we discuss our homework from School of Magical Stitches, and we kind of work through how certain whips could fit and deciding what we're going to work on each week. And we thought it might be good if other people see the way we work. And this week we just have the two of us. Eventually, sometimes Vicky's here. She's back at school now, so staying up late doesn't really work for her anymore. In the future, we may be able to have a few more people. We're going to first discuss School of Magical Stitches homework, and then we are in a few other challenge groups that we figure we'll go ahead and discuss too, and show y'all exactly what it's like on a nightly basis. Not pomp and circumstance, just a peek into our brain, right? So
scary, our brains.
Right. So okay, part one. So this week's homework is 3 parts. Part 1 is in celebration of the 11 Death Eaters being captured. Please work on your 11th whip in your whip album for 300 stitches. What's your 11th whip?
Okay, my 11th whip is Wandering Shepherd by Shepherd's Bush.
Okay.
So it was not one that I was really wanting to work on at all anytime soon, but that's the joy.
That's the joy of the whip.
Oh, this light is way too bright for it. There we go. So I'm up to there, which is seriously, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through it. So really, what is it, 300 stitches?
Yeah.
Yeah, 300 stitches will get me another row or two. The thing about the Shepherd's Bush is they have such fancy stitches, it takes me a while to do, but oh well, that's all right. I can work on that. What's your 11th whip?
Okay, so I wanted to give a quick peek.
Yep.
But it's loading.
To your whip list?
Yeah. Even though it's going away, that's what the headmistresses said when we went live last night, is this will be the last event from the whip list.
Right.
But I like the whip list.
I like it too because it makes it a bit more random. Like they've chosen the numbers. There was a 13, there was a 17, was it, or a 19, a 1, 2, and something else.
Yeah.
So I've had to work on a number of different whips, which has been really good. As I said, this one was not one on my hit list at all for this week. But hey, what the hell? I do what I'm told.
Sometimes it makes you work on that thing that you're just not quite feeling. And when it's only like 200 or 300 stitches, you're like, okay, well, I guess I could suffer through. Also, I feel like it kind of takes the question out of things. You know, so many of their homeworks are, you know, how do you make this fit into this? This is not. It's what's your 11th whip. So,
and that's something I like about the homework is the variety. So this one's an easy. I've got number 11, and I know they said like some people don't have 11 whips. So they're people like I used to be that used to be monogamous stitches or work on 2 or 3, but there's always an alternative. So the alternative this week is you can work on whip number 1.
Right.
And if you happen to finish your number 11, then you just bump number 12 up to 11. So that's easy. Everyone's got something to work on.
Right. And so here's my whip list, just to kind of get an idea. I just listed out 20 whips I don't really mind working on, or a lot of these for me are my year of whips, trying to knock them out. So number 11 is Winter Blister.
Oh, cool.
So
what's Winter Blister? I don't know that one.
It's an ornament by Glendon Place. It was in one of the Just Cross Stitch magazines, and this is where I'm at on it. So I think 300 stitches will get him a face, probably.
Oh, that'll be exciting. You'll know what it is then.
Yeah, this little snowman, and then there's just like snowflakes and stuff up here. You know, it's an ornament. It'll go pretty quick.
I like that fabric.
I dyed it myself.
Oh, you're clever.
You can see I have like splotches that didn't do so well. Oh, it's on the back.
Oh, yeah.
But I like it. I feel like it looks kind of like blue jeans.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like it. Very nice.
I did a lot of dyeing for my ornaments last year.
Oh, you're a multi-talented lady.
I try. Okay. So that was part 1. You need 300 stitches. You get 300 points for completing those.
300 points.
No, it's 300 stitches. You get 3 points.
Thank you. I was going to say.
I could use 300 points. Could you use 300
No,
points?
no. Slytherin don't need 300 points. Hufflepuff needs 300 points.
Yeah. Part 2. In celebration of Professor Umbridge leaving the school, stitch 300 stitches in any color but pink. Absolutely no pink. Now, they did say it doesn't have to all be one color that's not pink. It can be basically stitch whatever you want, just do not stitch pink.
Do you have to not have pink on the project?
No, you just can't stitch on the pink.
Oh, that's easy to do. Gosh. So what are you thinking of doing for that one?
Well, tomorrow night is our live Lizzie Kate event.
Mm-hmm.
So yep. I'm thinking that's when I'll knock it out. I'll do it on one of my Lizzie Kate whips.
Right. Gosh, what do I want to do? 300 stitches again, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm a bit torn because of what I want to do. Can't do that one because it's got pink. I might do this one. I've got to show you. This is my this is on my list of wanting to do this week ones. Mm-hmm. So if I can find an excuse to work on it. This is my Ship's Manor sale, love story sale that I've been working on all year. And as you can see, I'm nearly there.
Yeah.
So as long as I don't do, I imagine like it's the life of the people. So I imagine the lady down here is pink. So as long as I don't stitch her, I should be able to do that. So I might work on that for 300 stitches and see where that takes me.
I think I might. So part of my thought process sometimes when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to stitch is I want to stitch on something I haven't stitched on in a while. Because I like to give all my whips priority or a little time. I'm going to show you on my screen again.
Uh-huh.
So this is a list of all my whips and the last time I stitched on them. If you're looking for this spreadsheet, it's on Jessie Marie's channel. I stole it. No, she offered it. And so I'm looking for my Lizzie Kate that I haven't worked on the longest. So
right.
Let's see. It's probably going to be this one called A Brother.
That's not likely to be pink.
No. Nope, it's a lot of blues. I'm going to switch screens here. And so this will probably be the first thing I work on for my for the Lizzie Kate stitch along on Monday. And 300 stitches in this because there's absolutely no pink on that project.
No, and you could easily just avoid the red just to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just get those words in there.
Well, that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So, and then what I was thinking after I get the 300 on that is I will give an hour to each of my other Lizzie Kates that I have actively going during the stitch along.
Well, I would like to join you, but I will be at work, but that's okay. Not everyone has to come to every single event we run. We just try to run different events so that different people can come.
Right.
What else have you got?
That specific event is the 19th of the month. So, 1 month it's Tuesday, 1 month it's Thursday, 1 month it's Friday. It's unbiased. So, okay, part 3, and this is a bonus, so it's optional. 400 stitches in honor of the Weasley twins' famous 5th floor practical joke. Not the practical joke in its entirety, but just what they did on the 5th floor. Do you know what that is, Lisa?
Well, I haven't read the books for a million years, and from the movie, I have absolutely no clue because all I know from the movie is that they flew around and like set off fireworks and stuff.
Right.
Chased Umbridge out with a big like dragon firework or something like that. So I don't have a clue what they did on the 5th floor from the movie.
Okay, I don't remember either because it's been a long time. But Jesse told us last night that it has to do. They created like a swamp on the 5th floor that Filch and Umbridge could not get rid of, and I mean it frustrated her so bad. And they ended up not being able to get rid of it, so Filch had to put a fence around it, and people are just avoiding it.
Okay. So that's what you do. A swamp. So something to do with a swamp.
Yes, and I know Vicky mentioned last night, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be swamp specific as a swamp, right? So like you see flies at a swamp, you see dragonflies at a swamp. The fence that Filch puts around it, do you have something with a fence?
Well, do you know what I do have that comes straight to mind? I don't know if it'll be any good. Can you put me back on big?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I didn't realize I was still...
What about Swan Lake by Blackbird Designs?
Oh, there you go. It's got a lake. It's got water.
And that lake, they could be swimming in a swampy lake. And there's the building as well. So I don't know. I mean, you and I can't say yes to whether it will be approved or not. Right. But logical thinking, I reckon I could do a bit on Swan Lake, and that would make me really happy because it's on my list of ones I really want to work on this week. And I'm up to, it's hard with that light. I'm up to there. So I've got a fair bit to do. I could easily do 400 on there. I actually want to do 1,000 on this for something else. So that'd be a good one. What do you got, swampy or fancy or flyy?
Right. And here's my thing. Like sometimes I don't worry about going and getting it approved. If I don't get the points, I don't get the points. Right.
It's an imaginary school for imaginary points.
Right.
So, we are very, very feisty about our houses, though.
But I've been having kind of a hard time with my whips and trying to figure out one that fit.
Well, go back to your picture so I can see, please.
Yes, ma'am. And this is why I created this album of just the covers of everything I'm working on to make it a little easier. Oh, we got swans and some water back there.
Yeah, there's an option.
I have hit my goal on her, though, so it's not my first option.
What have you got on that one, the sampler, next to Ladies of Flag? Go across. Down.
Flag? This one?
Yeah. Down. There. What's on that sampler next to Ladies of Flag?
A lot of stuff. This one?
Yeah.
Well, you know, there are birds near a swamp, I'm sure.
Is that greenery around that house a swamp? Because it sort of dips down like it's in a...
I think it's more of a... Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
I think Sammy had to do some work. This is the joys of us filming when Sammy is working. I run the risk of my children running in any time, and Sammy runs the risk of having to go and actually do some work. But we can't all have the best job in the world that lets you stitch while you're working. Yeah, I don't know. That sort of looks to me like you could make it a swamp. I mean, I'm sure it's meant to be grass.
Yeah, I think it is. And again, the struggle with this one is I kind of completed the goal from the year on it.
Okay.
So I hesitate. Like, I'm not against it, but I hesitate. I do have, this is my dreaded project. I hate working on it, but it seems to fit everything.
Well, they're swamp creatures.
Yeah.
Is that a Loch Ness monster on the right or a dinosaur or something?
This is Nessie, the Loch Ness monster.
Mm-hmm. Well, do that, because the Loch Ness monster lives in a swamp.
Right, yeah. So that was another one I thought about. I didn't know if I had anything on, trees. But
yeah. Not really.
It's a weak connection.
Yeah.
So, yep, I think I'll do legendary creatures. Although, but I'm almost at the goal on that one. I have to finish this guy, the elemental, the jackalope, and the kraken, maybe. And then I'll be done with my yearly goal for that one. So.
Well, do 400 on that. It will help for your yearly goal.
Yeah. So, okay.
All right, cool. There's this one done. That's why I like sitting down and talking through it. Gives us some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all our weekly homework for Magical Stitches?
That is for this week.
Oh, that's not too hard.
No. I think it's because we did the owls last week, and that was 10 courses with, well, you could choose between having 100 stitches for each class or 200 for each class. And so, you know, with 10 classes, that's 2,000 stitches they expected in a week.
Yeah,
so,
which was a big ask.
Did you complete yours?
I did. I believe I've earned an O for everything. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. But that was a big effort to do that. And because Magical Stitches for me, being in Australia, it comes out on my Monday evening. So, well, it comes out the day before, but it starts. So it only started for me about an hour ago today.
Mm-hmm.
So I plan, I mean, usually you and I plan last night, not tonight.
Right.
But I find that then Monday and Tuesday nights are my worst nights in my life to try and fit much stitching in. So I can't really get to my homework till Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I have to try and get it all done by the weekend.
Right.
But what I do like is that Cheryl's group of the Daily 30, she releases hers on my Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually can spend the weekend doing her stuff until I can do Magical Stitches.
Yeah, see, and I usually get my Magical Stitches done first because it starts on, you know, Monday morning, early hours for me. And then by the time I finish that, Cheryl's has hit and I can work on hers. And then that gets me through until homework again.
Yes.
So, something else I was going to say. Had to do with the owl exams.
Well, it was hard, 2,000 stitches.
Oh, I did all 10 of mine on different projects. So
good job.
I touched 10 projects and I did the same thing with them where like my first 3 or 4 were ones I hadn't even worked on this year.
That's good.
So yeah, it made them more current. So that was pretty cool. How many did it take you?
Gosh, I have to look at that. I think I tried to do something pretty similar. Hold on, let me look up my homework on my ever trusty phone, which I got back. It's fixed. Yay.
Nice.
I really missed it. It died. Okay, I actually got all my homework done, I remember now, on 2 projects.
Nice.
So my owls, I did one that was a bit haunted sort of stuff. And another one was actually 12 Days of Christmas. And it wasn't on my radar of one I wanted to work on either. But it just had so many things that I could do that fitted so many. I mean, I don't know if they get approved, but in my mind, they fitted so many different things. So I ended up doing all 10. I think it was basically 7 on the 12 Days of Christmas and 3 on the spooky one.
And that's kind of what I like about this is like we did it 2 totally different ways, but we both accomplished the same goal.
Well, we find that's often the way with us.
Yeah. Well, you know, you like to work on yours for longer bits of time. So you try and fit it into more things. Whereas I want to change every night. I don't want to work on the same thing. Sometimes even 2 or 3 a night. So
but you also have more hours in your night than me when you're working.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like when you're at home, but I'm lucky because I can basically do 2 hours a night at home consistently. And then some nights I can do more, but generally I can guarantee, well, can't guarantee anything, but generally I can do half an hour to 2 hours a night. Right. Sometimes I don't jump on virtual. Yeah, I get a little bit lonely because there's not too many of us that are on my sort of time when you're not working. My sort of time starts from about an hour from now. So you're normally about 8 o'clock Sydney time. What time is that in your world?
About 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So about 4:30 in the morning. However, the people who are in Great Britain and that side of the world, if they actually were morning stitchers, they could jump on and stitch with us. Mm-hmm. Because it's a few hours later there than you. So it'd be about 10 o'clock in the morning their time. So if anyone's over there and looking for someone to talk to in mornings, then yeah, there's a couple of us that are on that sort of time, but not as many as your evening.
Yeah. So the next thing we have is Cheryl's McDonald's week, right?
Yeah. Now, Cheryl's group, we should just point out, is not actually open at the moment. She's got it closed to 200 members, but there's still 200 people who may want to hear what we have to say.
Right. Well, that, and again, it's our process, how we go about trying to make things fit and showing. I know a lot of people are like, I don't know how you do all the stuff that you do. So this kind of helps with that too.
Yeah, true.
Cheryl's group comes up with some really interesting themes each week. So this week's is McDonald's week, because I guess it had its 79th anniversary this week.
Yes, 79th, because the first bit of homework, sorry, I'm trying to find what I was going to work on for this. 79 years. So the first bit of homework was do 79 stitches in anything.
Right. And 79 was an odd number, but we get that sometimes. So, so the first challenge is put 79 pieces into a piece of your choice, anything, to represent the years McDonald's has been in business. So how would you approach this one?
Well, first thing I do is I ignore that straight away and I jump to the second task because, like you said, I try to multitask as much as possible. So I jumped straight to the second one, which was to put 100 stitches into a piece you'd find colour using in camouflage. And then I did 179 stitches on that one.
Okay.
And I can show you that because I've done that.
Okay. I haven't done it yet. And part of the reason is I save it for last, since I can literally work on anything for it. So
these polar opposites.
Yeah. So, when I'm working on Winter Blister, I may throw it on there. But if it doesn't fit any of these other tasks, we're fixing to get to.
Well, your 79 stitches, though, because you like touching so many whips, you might decide to find something you have not touched for a long, long time and just chuck 79 in it.
That is very true, too.
So my one I've chosen was this one, Where My Heart Blooms, from Blackbird Designs. And because the camouflage is this yellow colour.
Yes.
So there you go. So yeah, that was what, because I already sort of thought about shells, because as I said, hers came out to me a bit earlier. Someone driving up the driveway?
There's 2 driveways at this shack, and so I'm over here on this side of the fence, and there's another person on the other side of the fence. They went to the other side. So we're
lucky.
Okay. I was working on, so when I was between homeworks and trying to figure out what to work on, one of the things I'm trying to do is complete my yearly ultimate challenge in School of Magical Stitches. And so which one is it? I can't remember which one it is, but I only needed like 149 more stitches. So and it was on Lady of the Flag. So I pulled her out and I was working on her for that. And I pulled up Cheryl's group and I said, okay, where can I fit this? Where will this work? And it worked for the camouflage because I have military family, and I know when they wear desert camouflage, it's tans and golds and browns. And that's the colors I was working on for her, because I was working on the brown in her hair and the gold on her. So.
Cool.
That was number 2.
That worked well. So you were, I mean, I like to double dip or triple dip, or we'll get there when we talk about all the groups we do. But if I can multitask a bit of stitching, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Never within the same group.
Not only did I accomplish stitches, I accomplished this many stitches, and I completed this many challenges. It just makes my night feel full. So, and with Cheryl's group, I should mention that you do not have to count stitches. You could also say, I'm going to work on this for an hour. And if you choose to do it like that, you also get awarded tokens. So.
Yes, but since we're already counting.
Yeah, we like to count. I was counting before challenges, so. Okay, number 3, stitch on a piece with a toy or something you would consider a toy. Use your imagination.
A toy.
You haven't worked on that one yet?
No, but I was trying to think of what other projects I would have that would be a toy.
Well, I mean, if you had a bunny rabbit or a teddy bear, those could be stuffed.
Yeah, well, what I think, let's see if I can show you. Because again, that one by itself, nothing sprang to mind. But I have to jump ahead to the next one or one after, was to stitch on something to do with Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew I had to do a Christmas project. So I'm working on the gingerbread house by Frosted Pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it might be a bit of a push, but if you look down the bottom, those little gingerbread men or the little penguin or something, they could be a toy.
Yeah.
They could be a stuffed toy.
Those gingerbread houses could be toy houses, like Barbie houses, you know?
True.
I mean, any of that stuff.
So I might do that.
Okay. I've been working on mini treasure hunt bookshelf for my daily, just to get some stitches in it every day. And it's a bookshelf with lots of little gadgets and toys, and books are toys. I mean, we like to have more respect for them than that, but they can be when you're a kid. So I thought it had plenty to fit. I put 100 in on it.
So how do you go? You mentioned that was your daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
So with your daily, you're doing 30 minutes a day and you're recording that each day. How do you then use that for another challenge?
I'm not using it for my daily 30.
Okay.
I'm using a Whip Go project as my daily 30 that I work on for 30 minutes. And then I pull this one out. What I've been doing is I have one of my decision app spinners has different stitch amounts on it. So 50, 75, 100, 125, or 150. And I spin it. And yesterday it just happened to land on 100, which was perfect for also completing that.
Okay, well that works.
On trying to get my HAEDs done. So.
Right. So what are you going to do for your Christmas project?
Christmas. Well, I got winter blister.
I was just thinking of that. Multitasking there.
I have Advent animals. So I'm sure one of them will fall. Well, but my Advent animal is my daily 30. So that you can't double dip in the same group.
See,
so
I don't mind double dipping across groups, but I find it really hard double dipping in the same group. So much so if I'm doing something for my weekly homework, if I'm in the middle of doing a monthly or a year long on it, I won't use it because I can't interrupt my flow. I can put it down because I've got to do 1,000 stitches, but I can't pick it up till I finish that amount.
That makes sense.
Otherwise, I get too confused.
Whereas typically I don't intermingle like weekly and monthlies, but when I was working on a yearly where it was 1,000 stitches, and I wasn't, because I only work on the project maybe one day a month, I wasn't getting those 1,000 stitches done and I needed it for homework. I had a spreadsheet. So I would only enter the numbers in the spreadsheet that I worked on when I was not working on homework. So like on some of my yearlies, like for Spangled, the entire page is done and I only caught to like 1,012 stitches. It's Hey, Belinda.
Hey, Belinda.
Hello.
We're discussing how we do our homework planning.
Ask Sammy.
That's what I do. I ask Sammy. So welcome to joining us. We love your opinion too. Well, that would work for Christmas. And then the other one I laughed at for Shirl's because it was Macca's. This one was the McNuggets come in 4 shapes. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Apparently they come in a bell, a bone, a boot, and a ball. Did you know that, Belinda?
Someone pays way too much attention to their food.
I don't. I eat it so fast. There's no telling. I know I have had a round nugget, so I say I've eaten a ball. The bell or boot I think are similar enough. I probably had one or the other or both. Bone though, I don't know that I've ever seen a bone-shaped chicken nugget.
Maybe they don't do it anymore. I don't know. Well, I'm thinking because I'm already going to do my Christmas one for my Christmas project and for my toy. This is where I'm up to with it. I could actually do it for balls because look at all those little like balls up the top.
Ornaments, yes.
Balls or whatever. So I might do that. I might do it.
Grown-up term.
What was that, Belinda?
Sammy uses the grown-up term.
Yes.
That's because I was made fun of hardcore the other night for saying that word over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe your accent. It doesn't nearly sound as bad
No.
when this is live, not for you to
Live on the internet.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nearly as funny as when Lisa says it. I think it's to do with the accent.
Gotcha.
Hey, I got no accent, Belinda. What are you talking about?
You just have normal accent.
Kind of going on the same thought process as you, Lisa. I think I'm going to work on this. Do you see? We have a little
bell.
Yes.
Little bells. I see them. What's that?
Shaped like the chicken nugget bells, but you know,
that's the bells. So what ornament's that? What project's that one?
You know, so I found it in a magazine. It's by Doreen Jones, and I never wrote down the actual name of it. I've always called it Welcome to Christmas because it says Welcome to, and it's Christmas themed, and then you put your last name in it. So like mine will say Welcome to the Jameses, which was really funny because the one in the magazine says Welcome to the Joneses. So it'll only take a little tweaking.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
she's going back to work. So Belinda, have you done any planning for your Magical Stitches homework yet?
So I'm in the middle of doing extra credit. I've just done 500 stitches for feathers, and I'm doing 500 stitches for Christmas because I'm doing the Christmas blue fairy. And then I'll use her for the 300 free stitches on any colour but pink. What I am doing to save stitching time, because I don't have a whole heap, is I'm doing the penalty stitches for Cheryl's group, which fits in well with me anyway.
Okay, well that's good.
So I can just do 200 stitches of that and just keep going. So I'm also doing Sane's 1500 stitches domino.
We'll get to that one soon too, yeah.
So I've got to kind of make everything work for the 1500 stitches that I'm doing because I'm struggling to get that done within a week. So I can't add. So anyway, once I've done the 2 extra credit and the 300 stitches, I should then have enough.
That's all right.
I can then move on to the swamp. Whatever. The swamp one, Outback Sane.
Yeah.
Because there are swamps in Australia.
There are.
And that project is so huge that it swamps me.
There you go.
Play on the word. Good choice.
Move back in here. What was the other one? So that was
pink, swamp. What
was the first one? Oh, the 11th whip.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely haven't finished any of my whips, so whatever my 11th whip is, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And,
great.
So, yeah, but I am doing the penalty stitches for Cheryl's group because I can't fit that semi-sanes and magical.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we're saying. Double dipping's the way to go.
Yeah, and I totally forgot about the penalty stitches. She doesn't call them penalties; she calls them alternate. So if you cannot fit any specific thing, but because some people only have one whip and they have to make everything try and fit, and if you can't, then you can add an additional 100 stitches or an additional hour if you're not counting stitches, and be able to get the credit for that event or challenge or whatever.
So the last one we got for Shirls is the stitch on the piece you most recently opened. In other words, your newest whip.
Okay.
So it was hard for me because, I mean, I didn't stitch much before January.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started stitching a bit when I found Flosstube and Virtual. And then you convinced me to do Mania. Not that you did it directly, but I just blamed Sammy. Sammy made me do it. But I did Mania. So I started 26 projects in May.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, honestly, without having to spend time going back through my diaries and calendars, I don't know for sure what my newest whip would be, but I'm thinking it's my Haid, because I think I started my Haid after my Chatelaine, and that was after Mania.
Yeah.
So that's this one.
I think you did, yeah, because you did Mira. We all started a new Mira together, and then we did the challenge yourself. So you started the Chatelaine, but then you started the Haid after that.
I think so.
I think
so. My Haid is a mini quilt sampler, mini patchwork sampler by Jane Wooster Scott from Haid. And so obviously 100 stitches on that, which is, I can show you what it looks like, but I mean, it doesn't mean too much. It doesn't look like anything. There you go. I've done my 100 on that. I did them on Sunday while I was waiting for Magical Stitches to start.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my brain again. I actually call this my stitch brain.
Your stitchy brain?
Yeah, if you look up here, it says stitch brain. This is my master stitch list, and it is a list of all my projects.
Wow.
Start date, their finish date. Well, and once they're finished, they get moved down to which year they got completed. Mm-hmm. So my last start was Alice's Mad Plant by Michelle Bendy. Mm-hmm. I started it while I was at retreat. So that will be 100 stitches this weekend.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was your last start, Belinda?
It was a Joan Elliott. No, it was a Mill Hill that I took with me to Perth when Iona had a children's hospital appointment, because I could not find my Mill Hill Santa at all. So I took, what was it? A butterfly, one of those butterfly Mill Hill kits.
Cool. So that does all our weekly homework, Sammy.
Okay, so y'all are part of a semi-sane event right now?
Yeah.
Which one would that be?
And that would be the dominoes / wacky whips.
Oh, y'all crazy are whips on that. I couldn't do it.
We did 1,500 stitches is not fun. 1,200 is doable. The last 200 is a stretch. 1,000 stitches on a whip before I get totally needing to change, thinking of nice words in my head, is better. The 1,000 stitches is okay. Any more than that, and you're really pushing, and for me, needing to change whips.
Well, can I say on that, last week's homework, was last week or the week before, 1,000 stitches on the piece you want to chuck out the most. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. That was really tough, because 1,000 stitches on a piece you don't enjoy stitching on, that was a lot to do.
And the two that I would have classed as that, I've actually basically UFO'd them, not forever, just
no.
I honestly am not enjoying working on them. I can't see what I'm going to do when I'm finished. So why am I wasting my time stitching on them at this present time?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Sammy, with the that one, the Domino's Wacky Whips, I'm not sure if I'm meant to be still doing it, because it probably goes till the end of the month. But Belinda took the penalty stitches. I actually did it the way it was. Well, I understood it meant. I stitched 100 stitches on one project, 200 stitches on the next project, 300 stitches on the next, 400, all the way up to 1,000. And I only just finished my 1,000 this weekend on the project that was my 1,000. And I don't want to repeat it, which I think is what I'm meant to do, because there's other things on I want to do. So the one that I'm doing at the moment, I'm thinking about doing started yesterday, and it's called a Whip Buster Challenge, and it's to do with the movie Ghostbusters, basically. So you can choose what you want to do, but you can do 1,000 on one whip, 500 on each of 2 whips, or 200 on each of 5 whips. So I'm thinking that might be something I can tie in with what I'm already doing in shells and magical stitches. But one of them, because something to do with China or food, and my chatelaine is the Chinese garden. So I could easily do something on my chatelaine. Something to do with science or a lab, or something to do with experiments. I haven't got anything for that yet. The iconic Stay Puft Marshmallow made an appearance as a balloon. Choose a whip with balloons in it. Jessie'd be right on that. She could do it temperature balloons.
Right.
I don't have anything for that. Chris Hemsworth must be honoured for the tremendous specimen he is. Choose a whip to do with Thor or a receptionist. So I don't know if I can do anything for that either.
Sky.
Sky.
He's the Norse god of the sky. Thunder, lightning.
Okay. I could do something with sky. Definitely, that's my Haid. It's got sky everywhere. And the Ghostbusters shoot pink streams out of their gadgets, so choose a whip with pink streamers or ribbons.
Well, you can't do that one if you're trying not to stitch pink.
I know. So I could do that, or I could actually do 300 on each of the following items. And then there's a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things. But that, to me, after doing the owls last week, is way too confusing. So I'm not really interested in that.
Right.
With that Domino's one,
Yeah.
It was running similarly with the Crazy Whip. So the Domino one was to do 1,500 stitches and link it up with your previous whip somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could do that, or you could link it with the Crazy Whip events, because there were 2 different events.
Yeah.
And do was it the 25, 50, 100?
Yeah, and I chose the 100, 200, 300.
I struggle with the 100, 200, 300 stitches and then changing whips. I do like sticking to a whip for 3 to 4 days before changing. I struggle.
Yeah, me too. So how are you going with your monthly homework tasks, Sammy?
For School of Magical Stitches?
Yep.
As you know, Cheryl has one too.
Yes, true.
Let's see. I think I'm at 5 out of 11, and I know I could probably complete at least one more, maybe 2. So the first one is 500 stitches, working on your largest whip for Grop, which was Hagrid's.
Cool. Yeah.
So 2 of my Heaven and Earth designs tie, like exactly are the same for my largest. So I ended up doing it on Mini Alice and a Dolly Dream.
Yep, cool. Well, mine was my Haid, so that was easy. I've done that. I've actually completed all 11 of my Magical Stitches July, August extra credit.
Nice.
So yeah, my Haid, but again, it was easy. I mean, I did have to work it out, but it wasn't too hard once you got it.
Okay, so number 2 is 500 stitches in a whip with a feather or bird on it. I haven't done that one, but I have several things with birds on them.
Yeah, what have you got? What could you pick for that one that you might be able to multitask?
Welcome to has bird on it. That was the one I said I could do with the Christmas tapes.
If you have any like Christmassy scenes where like in America or England where it's snowy and
Snow. What's that?
and they have animals with feathers flying around, like an owl or something. You could tie it with a Christmas.
True.
Type
the Christmas one.
Yeah, owl, and what's the other one? Well, see, this week's I met with the magical stitches. You can link a lot more with Cheryl's group, where normally it's really, really hard.
You have to be very creative.
Well, I did my Swan Lake for that one.
Okay. 500 stitches on a whip that is a portrait or has a portrait in it. So
I did a fancy lady.
Yeah, me too.
Me three. I did Alice. Thanks, Belinda.
Yeah.
And Vicky and Kat were very open. It didn't have to be a traditional head shoulder portrait. As long as it had someone in it, that would do.
Well, that's good, and it's good that there's a bit of flexibility.
I hadn't seen anybody all night till we started doing this.
That's all right. We'll keep talking without you. It's all good. Yeah, it's good that there's lots more flexibility. And I mean, there are the question threads in the common room that you can ask if you want specific help. I mean, as we said, we're not experts. We're just people who do the stitching, but we combine our brains, which helps. The next one was 500 stitches on a whip with a magical creature that could not be a witch or a wizard. Did you get that one done yet, Belinda?
Yeah, I did a enchanted mermaid because she is an enchanted mermaid.
Okay. Well, I did my Chinese gown mandala because around the outside of that are phoenixes. And phoenixes are a magic creature.
And wouldn't you have I don't know if you would, but would you have the dancing dragons in that, the Chinese?
That's a good question. I don't know. You know what? I don't think I do. And this is what it looks like. Yeah, I know. That's what it looks like. There's no dancing dragons.
Because to me, that symbolizes the Chinese.
Yeah, that's very true. No, I don't think I have any dragons. I've got just these dragony phoenixes, but no. Oh, no, that's a river. No, there's no dragons. That's true. Oh, well, there you go. So a magical creature we were talking about, Sammy.
Oh, okay. Well, I do have that legendary creatures thing. Just throws stitches into.
Yeah. So you just got to make sure you don't double dip across the same.
Right. Yeah. Finish homework and then do the extra credit.
We've got a few more weeks. Oh, the next one was a toughie. 500 stitches in one flame color, yellow, orange, or red. So you couldn't mix them. What'd you do?
Too hard. I haven't done anything yet. But I'm working on House Targaryen. It's all red.
Ah, awesome. Easy for you. Belinda?
I did the yellow in Butterfly Fairies. Either Butterfly Fairy or Dragonfly Fairies skirt. Because when you looked at the picture, it was yellow. But when I pulled the colours, they had the term golden in it. I remember I quoted you guys, like, in the picture, it looks yellow. But when I pulled the colours, they looked, they didn't look not yellow, but they're not as yellowy as I thought they should have been.
And that's where
But the discussion came up that if you looked up the DMC, it had the word golden in it, which hints of tones of yellow.
And the discussion was, if it looks yellow to you, it's yellow.
Yeah. So, while I'd be slightly disappointed if I don't get the points for it, I won't be surprised, because depending on the grader, when they look at it, they might find it doesn't look yellow. I did state for me it looked yellow on the picture. When I looked up the colours, it had golden in it, but I won't be surprised, nor just really on the whole, not that disappointed. I'll be like, frustrated, but not disappointed if I don't get the points for it.
Yeah.
It's life. Those stupid cover pics that don't dictate true colours.
Yes.
True.
So the next one was something with a Christmas theme.
Yep. Well, mine was my gingerbread Christmas.
I did that welcome too already.
That was pretty easy. I mean, everyone.
I'm doing the blue Christmas fairy because even though it looks zipped to do with Christmas, in the title it says, and which I did the cover pic for it so they can see it. It says the blue Christmas fairy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
500 stitches, stitch on something featuring things found in a forest.
Well, that was one of the first ones I did, and the project I was working on at the time was Farmhouse Christmas. And my view is, to me, that looks like that little cottage and those trees are in a forest.
Yeah, trees are in a forest.
Yep.
I worked on Owl Dad because owls are in the forest.
In my trees.
Yes, they're in trees too.
I did Butterfly Fairy because there are butterflies in the forest.
Yep. There are fairies in the forest too, but don't tell people.
And I actually nearly put, and then there's the mushroom rings that make the fairy gateway.
Yeah.
But I thought that might be pushing it if I did that.
I think it's awesome. 500 stitches, stitch on something with a sphere. Either something with circles, spheres, or glass.
All right. This one.
I see some circles.
There's lots of circles. It's my cross stitcher magazine Fairy Tale Sal. And I did this one because of that, but also for something as all those beads. I actually did 200 and something beads one day I think for this one. It was either this one or Shell's group had a similar one at the same time. My biggest thing with this was on my hit list for this week because it's the only one I have, I think, that I know of that's done with Zweigart fabric. Mm-hmm. And one of Shell's monthlies involves doing Zweigart fabric. So I'm disappointed I haven't been able to fit because the problem is this girl here, the next one, she's pink. Mm-hmm. So I can't do her.
I'm going to work on Guardians of Notre Dame because lots of circles, and this is supposed to be stained glass. So glass works. Yes. So.
I just did whatever. I think I actually did Touching Autumn Sky because it has beads on it. Mm-hmm. And beads are circles in ish and glass ish.
Your fancy ladies come in handy, don't they, Belinda?
They do. And it was, again, I really tried to fit what I want to work on, and that's getting close to a finish. So I think I was pushing to get extra stitches on her.
The thing with these is that this was a July-August extra credit, so we've had 2 months to work on these. I'm surprised you've got so many left, Sammy.
July was not a very good month for me. I did the least amount of stitches that I've done all year. I had at least 6 days last month where I didn't work on anything. And in between all that, I was so busy that I wasn't in the headspace to figure things out. So, yeah, I didn't do so well this time.
Little sympathy from me because you went to Paris. Little sympathy from me.
Yeah, well, that did affect things because the only thing I took to Paris with me was Pretty Little Paris. So, the next one is stitch something with flowers on it for Petunia.
I actually did my Summer from Cricket collection, And the reason for that is, look at that flower. And something else I had at the same time, I had to do with sunflower. So I was double dipping. It was great.
Gotcha.
I did The Reader by Joan Elliott, which is another fancy lady, because she's sitting on cushions that had flowers in it, and there's flowers in the border.
Okay. I did Mean Mother by Lizzie Kate because I was already working on it. And look here, there's some flowers right there.
That's you, mean mother.
I know, I'm the meanest.
Did you circle those flowers?
What's that? No.
Did you circle those flowers so everyone could see what the flowers were?
I didn't, although I might consider it because there was one week when the grader asked me to put a cover sheet because it was the one where we had to do something with eggs and there was a bird on the project. And so I was like, there's the bird, birds lay eggs. And then she asked me to provide a cover sheet, but I had stitched the bird. Like it was right there in the middle of the picture. So I was like, well, maybe next time I should circle it.
Now.
But you know, they get to looking through so many that sometimes I think it's really easy to miss little things like that. It really is. Okay, number 10.
I had one that got pulled up.
Oh, sorry. Go, Belinda.
Yeah, I've got one. I had one that got pulled up, and it was one of those in the picture type things. And the lady was really apologetic, and I'm like, no, it's all good. It happens.
Oh yeah, she was for me too. I said, you know, I didn't post the cover because it was actually stitched, and she said, I totally missed it. I'm so sorry. So. Okay, so 200 stitches on this one, a family item, a birth sampler, or something you were stitching for a family member.
I did, and got me a finish. Pumpkin Farm from Blackbird Designs.
Very nice.
Because it's got all our names and dates and stuff on it.
I did touching. I'm so sorry, Sammy.
No, you're fine.
I did Touching Water and Sky because it's will be eventually a gift for one of the kids when I'm no longer around.
Long range gift.
Well, I want it on my wall first because I really wanted the chart, but eventually it'll go to Michaela.
I could work on Welcome To for that one also because it's going to say our family name on it. So it'd be a family item.
Do that one. Well, then you can double dip that maybe.
Probably, yes. And the last one, of course, is to watch the movie. Have you watched the movie yet? You have.
I have. I was doing my Haid at the time. So I was getting smarter with my photography. I've actually learned how to take a photo with the TV in the background. So you've got the proof that I started on that one and I finished.
There you go.
Can't read it, but anyway.
I don't watch the movies because if I watch a movie like that, I would like to watch with the kids, and Sophie refuses to watch the movies because she finds them boring as anything.
Wow.
So I think that'll be it for this week. It was a little longer than I think we'll typically do this, but we were going over monthlies, which only happens once every 2 months with School of Magical Stitches and every month with Daily 30.
So we'll have more next month. We've got everything rotates over again.
Yeah. So we'll probably have a big one. Probably, I think she said they're releasing the extra credit next week. So we'll have about a week to plan before we actually get working on it. So.
Well, out of interest, if there is anyone watching, is it helpful to hear us brainstorming our ideas or not? Are we just talking to ourselves, or do you think it's actually worthwhile us bothering? Because if it's worthwhile bothering, we can do it more often. But if it's not worthwhile, we don't have to worry.
Yeah.
We're going to do it anyway.
We do have 6 people watching at the moment. Nobody's commented though. I kept an eye just to make sure. But we are going to share this with Vicky and see if she wants to put it on School Magical Stitches. So we may have comments we need to come back and moderate later.
Okay.
So, all righty. Well,
bye, everyone.